Sponsored in part by Eye Candy Pigments. Top quality pigments, silicone molds, flakes, and glitters. Visit us online at eyecandypigments.com.
Saturday, August 8th, or is it 9th?
9th.
August 9th. Me and Sean are going to Montpelier Speedway for the John Halsey Memorial. What's your take on tonight, Sean?
Oh, it'll be different. I have not soloed it without my brother, so we'll see how it goes.
Got some black tape around his numbers. They were kind of peeling off.
Yeah.
So we had to get this thing in order to get with it tonight. He got a new paint job since the last time you seen it.
What's really going on set here is Brad is our master mechanic. He's got over 30 years as a certified professional in the field. So, I mean, Jack and I can pick up a wrench, but we're not efficient, and he's pretty much our technical support.
Well, we've made it to Montpelier Motor Speedway by the milkman. Got Sean's car here lined up, got mine here, ready to roll.
Jack going out here in a second to qualify. Track conditions today, at least the day we were out there, it was tacky, but it was a little on the softer side. Kept the time down. When you're out qualifying, one thing to keep in mind is your car spacing. This isn't a race, so you're racing against yourself to try and get the best possible time to determine your pit position in the heat race. In this particular instance, the track, when we went out, it was, I would say, medium sloppy. It wasn't quite tacky at that point in the day. I mean, they did a good job of prep. There's nothing wrong with the track. It's just a little bit slower because of the track hasn't been beaten in quite yet. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share. Rolling onto the track behind Ron Holbert here. Track's pretty good at this point. I mean, obviously we race on the surface we're given. You can see it's dried out a little bit more. Still not quite where we need for speed. Dayton Warren passing Ron there. I was just more focused on getting the best speed I can, you know. Again, spacing's important. Ron's kind of taking the high line away from me. I'm gonna try and go on an inside here a little bit. Didn't quite seal the deal here. It was still slick, so I let off. I didn't want to hit him. That's kind of typical. See, he kind of kicked out there in turn 4. But as the night goes on, the track gets a lot better. You know, it gets beat in, dries out, but it's just starting to get to that point where it's going to get fast for us out here. See, the GoPro's got a lot of dirt on it already. That's just telling you how tacky it is. Yeah, we're out here qualifying. We're just trying to get that best time as possible.
Yeah, you think you got a shot tonight? Hopefully.
Yeah, some people break. some of them Hondas.
Not too many here today so far, so a lot of more streets and supers going on.
I'd rather load it up with all 4 tires still on it and rolling than not load
Motor's
it up at
still
all.
turning over.
I call that a win if it loads up on its own power.
Yep.
Going into heat race 1 with Jack. Started on pole. Did really well in his qualifying laps. We got Canyon Nichols in second position next to him. He's in the Nissan here, you'll see in a second. It's a red and black car. Just trying to get out onto the track, get people lined up. He's doing really well so far. We'll see how this goes. Track looks a little bit better, a little bit more beat in, a little bit drier. It's at the optimal moisture level, in my opinion. It does get drier, and you do get a little bit faster when it's dry, but then you get into this dry slick situation. Here we go. We're gonna have the green. Jack's doing pretty good here. Canyon gets out in front of him. Canyon kicks out a bit in turn 2 here. I think that's Isley. Brian Isley slipped by him here in the number 5 car. He's got the good peak RPMs going now. You'll notice that there's not as much mud flopping out here, and something's wrong. See how much the car's shaking. He's either scooped up mud, but most likely when this happens, you've lost the tires. Heat race number 2 here. I'm in the 8th position. Kind of a little bit further back in the field. We only had 2 heat races for our division that night, and it was different. You can see we're getting out there in our first lap. Things are starting to get settled in here. I think that's the 18C in front of me there. Chris Holbert is on the inside on the 20C there. He kind of took the high line away from me here, going into 4. I let him take it. Now he's on the inside. He kind of loses his line here a little bit. I try and go on the inside a little bit. He came down a little bit faster than I would anticipate, so kind of backed off a bit going into turn 4. Up into turn 2. Falls off a little bit here. The best thing you can do is just hammer it down, get around the person, because when they come back in, they tend to come in a little bit slower than you. So I kept him behind me at this point. Didn't really change any positions in this heat race, unfortunately. It just didn't work out. You know, I kind of skid there a little bit. All in all, pretty decent run. Car pushed quite a bit, so you can kind of hear me in and out of the pedal. The car doesn't have any rear steer. I don't have anything special about this car. It's pretty much all neutral setup. Definitely track's getting a lot faster. It looks a lot drier. Still a little bit of chop up on the pillows there. I don't think that ever got beat in at night. So, it is what it is. Sometimes people break in the track at the lower end. This happened to be just the middle of the ground track as far as I can determine all night. The up top was, I think at the end of the night, was kind of getting there so that the front wheel drives could take advantage of it. Montpelier's got a little bit of a crown starting on the edges now. It's been worked quite a bit. I prefer having a little bit of a crown. It kind of tells you, okay, you know, when you hit that crown, you know you're at the edge of falling off. And I don't know. I prefer it in corners. See, I fell off here. I prefer it in corners that come along a wall, having a little bit of an edge to it, because that kind of warns you, hey, you might want to consider, you know, backing off.
Alright, we're both advancing to the feature. What position you starting?
14.
He's starting 14th, Jack's starting 19th, I'm starting 19th. And Dayton, here we go again with this dude. Popped the tire front right, so I put the bead locker on.
On into the feature now. You know, every time I sit in the chute, you know, I say a little prayer for me and the racers, because we're doing something a little bit dangerous here. Position 14 is just mid-pack. It's not really a great place to start the feature at, but it is what it is. You know, Montpelier, you start on turn 4. There's my nephew Jack, got up ahead of me. He got that car really hot that night. Did a lot of good driving though. Ended up that, I don't know, one of the end laps, he popped a power steering hose, car caught fire. I don't have any footage of that, but came in smoking hot, literally off of the track, and it was out. I'm not sure what happened here either. That car broke down. So it resulted in a restart. And this is the thing that I don't really care for. You know, everybody's ramping up. We can't pass until we, you know, get past this cone on the straightaway. You know, they did this in Butler, and I didn't really care for it. I didn't really quite understand it. You know, somebody's got the cone on a rope, and they just yank it back in when everybody gets off the straightaway. But I'm not a big fan of that, I'll be completely honest. It gives the people up front a huge advantage, and we can't pass before that cone, and those guys are halfway across the track by the time I get to that cone. I'm not really keen on that restart situation, but that's, I don't make the rules. Just gotta deal with them. We had a really good run this night. Not really any accidents. Everybody was driving clean. It was a really good race. Pretty much everybody ran their own race. You know, leaders did get into lap traffic at the very end, so that pretty much tells me that everybody's going pretty fast. You know, there's a big difference between leader cars and, you know, average cars like mine. Won't get into that, but you know, it is what it is. Jack's doing a pretty good job there getting around some people. Definitely a lot faster at this point in the night. We're the last people out, so the track's been beat in. I don't want to keep hitting here in there's some weird rut in 3. Kept hitting it over and over again because that was the line I wanted to run. That's not necessarily a good thing when you hit a rut over and over again. It's really hard on your car. It's also a full moon that night, so, you know, superstition. But didn't hold out this night. I can kind of hear the leaders coming up now. Just pretty good rut there on 2. That's part of it, just knowing that there's, you know, certain parts of the track that you don't necessarily want to hit. And we got little tires, and ruts can be pretty detrimental to these cars. Alright, here comes some leaders. I can kind of hear them now. Drew Smith. I think that's Gam. big thing that you need to do if you're entering lap traffic like this is, be consistent. Don't weave around. These guys are racing for the win. They've already got a lap on you. Just don't weave around on them. I mean, you're still competing. You're running your own race, but these guys, they deserve the respect of being consistent.